watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Good morning to you here on this Thursday. So glad you're with us. 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Nada Irampour. Yesterday I had to explain to Ramin, who's 2, what wind is, because he's like, the tree's moving.
Right, yes. Something's moving that.
Yeah, so Evan, it did get windy, as you said.
It did get windy.
And it was like...
Yeah,
you get all the way into like the pressure
I was
change.
trying to explain there's high pressure and low pressure when they come
Yes,
together.
get geeky on it.
Yeah,
Right.
He just wanted to see why it was moving.
I had my ghosts in the front yard that were moving around. It looked very realistic.
I mean, any time in the month of October, all I'm thinking about is people's Halloween decorations that are kind of getting thrown around the yard if they're not secured properly. Today, winds are weaker. That wind advisory has expired, but it looks like by the weekend, we'll start to see a return to those breezy conditions. Take a look at the forecast for today. Low 70s out by the coast, mid and upper 70s inland. Looking pretty nice overall. A mild day with fall-like temperatures before we get some warmer temperatures by early next week. We'll have more details on what that looks like coming up in just a bit, but I want to send things over to Vanessa Paz, getting a check of traffic to kick off our Thursday. We're almost there to the weekend, Vanessa.
Yeah,
So
in
close.
terms of the winds, it took me some trial and error. The first round of winds, like I think when I had my decorations up like September, knocked all my hats and bats away. So I had to, reassess that situation. And this time around, it's not impacting my decorations, thankfully. All right, 6:01 is the time. We are tapping the brakes now pretty heavily coming in from the South Bay. This is that drive as you make your way out of Chula Vista, passing Home Avenue. This is a 78 coming at your screen. Is that westbound drive as you make your way out of Escondido towards San Marcos. We have a 2-car crash that we're tracking on the 5 North right at Poinsettia Lane. This is going to cause some slowing perhaps as you make your way towards Carlsbad. We have another crash. Look out for this one through the curves on the 5 South at Grape Street. Coming up a little later, we'll take a look at what your Thursday travel times have in store. That's all ahead. Eric.
Well, new this morning, at least one person was taken to the hospital following an exterior fire at the Marriott Hotel in Mission Valley. This happened just before midnight. San Diego fire rescue crews saying the cause is not known, but the fire started near the first floor. All hotel guests had to evacuate, but we just spoke with a staff member at the hotel here recently, and they told us guests have been allowed to go back into their rooms.
If you live or work in the Carlsbad area, heads up here. County officials want to get out an important message.
Yeah, a disaster drill will be taking place at McClellan Palomar Airport here this morning. And CBS 8's Regina Yarita live in Carlsbad with more on when this is all expected to start here. Regina?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, well, at this point, we're already noticing preparations. We've kind of looked at certain signage right behind us that is indicating to the public that there's going to be an emergency response exercise here at Palomar Airport. Certain parking spaces have also been blocked off with caution tape, so there is limited parking here. But again, I want to let you know that if you are looking at a lot of activity, emergency vehicles here at Palomar Airport, county officials want to remind people to not be alarmed. This is just a drill. They're letting the public know that the exercise will begin until 9 a.m. and last until 10:30 a.m. This is a required safety drill that happens every 3 years to make sure teams are ready to respond to a real emergency. The realistic training exercise brings agencies and volunteer participants together to practice joint responsibilities under an incident command structure in the event of an emergency. While activity could be seen and heard in most of the area, the actual drill will be conducted in the West Highdown area of the airport. So back out here, again, we're already seeing certain areas blocked off with caution tape. So if you are heading to Palomar Airport, just remember that this is just a drill and it will start at 9 a.m. and last until 10:30 a.m. I'm Regina Yarita, CBS 8.
Regina, thank you. 3 federal officers are recovering this morning following an immigration enforcement operation in Bay Park.
This happened yesterday on Dakota Drive, and that's where we find CBS 8's Chris Groh with some video of the aftermath. What happened there, Chris?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Well, we still don't know exactly what happened before the collision, what led up to the chase, if this is something where they, again, tried to detain the man and he got away, or if this started off as a car chase. We're still waiting on those details. But what we do know is that eventually this person that they were after ran straight on into, again, these other vehicles that were being used by ICE officers and nearly hit an innocent bystander, as ICE is saying, that led to those 3 ICE officers, as well as the person that they were trying to detain, being taken to the hospital for treatment because of this. And you could see the chaos here in the aftermath. Now, what we know so far is that these masked federal agents were trying to take someone into custody who they have only identified as a Kuwaiti national who had a final order of deportation, was living in the U.S. unlawfully. And again, they are claiming that he rammed his vehicle into law enforcement vehicles while trying to evade arrest. They are saying that this is someone who has a violent criminal history in Kuwait, and that this was someone who was a high priority apprehension. So we did hear from some of the neighbors who live in this area. Here's what one of them told us.
Out here, there was a lot of yelling. The federal agents were yelling at the guy and getting him out of the car and handcuffing him. And then the federal agent who was parked in his truck that the guy ran into had a broken leg, he said. So he was out and they were attending to him. So there was a lot of drama going on.
I want to read to you a statement here from ICE San Diego. It says, quote, 3 federal officers were injured today after a violent criminal alien from Kuwait with a final order of deportation from the United States rammed into law enforcement vehicles while trying to evade arrest in San Diego. That statement then goes on to say that, quote, this illegal criminal alien who is wanted in his home country of Kuwait and who has a violent criminal history weaponized his vehicle to narrowly miss hitting an innocent bystander and striking ICE officers before crashing into multiple government vehicles. Again, we still don't have the identity of this man, but ICE says that they will be filing criminal charges in relation to this incident as well, too, on top of those deportation orders in processing. Back to you in studio.
Okay, Chris, thank you very much. Today, the U.S. Senate is expected to consider a bill that would allow some federal employees to get paid while the government shutdown drags on. That would include active duty military. This follows a 12th failed Senate vote on the House GOP's funding bill to reopen the government through mid-November. Meantime, the U.S. gross national debt now surpassed $38 trillion for the first time ever. Government shutdowns can boost the national debt because they delay economic activity and postpone fiscal decisions.
All right, here we are a little closer to the weekend on this Thursday. Not quite as windy, hopefully, as it was yesterday.
Not quite as windy. Wind advisory has expired from yesterday. It was in effect from noon yesterday through midnight, so just about 6 hours ago. What we're going to be watching for today is a weakening of those winds and then a return to the winds by the weekend. So not too long of a break that we get. Current temperatures out the door right now are mostly in the 50s, 58 in Encinitas, 57 in Oceanside, 48 in Ramona, and Mount Laguna this morning down to the 30s. Looks like they're going to double their temperatures from where they are right now to the afternoon high. So looking for 70s by the time the afternoon comes around. Downtown San Diego should make it to about 71 degrees. That will be 3 degrees cooler than normal. Ramona about 2 degrees cooler than normal. So just kind of goes to show that generally we are in line with average, as you can see in Borrego, but a lot of our coastal communities and inland valleys will be a few degrees shy of where normal would be. When we look at what we have as far as satellite and radar go, our cloud cover has not been too extreme out there. It looks like we've been kind of ebbing and flowing a bit. So generally those clouds have been relatively weak, and we do expect that going into the afternoon, pretty much complete sunshine will be the trend. We'll have fewer clouds on hand this afternoon than we have for a lot of the past mornings and afternoons. When we look at the view outside, sunrise is at 6:59. It's in about 50 minutes. Sunset at 6:06 p.m. What we're watching for is that today is the final sunrise in the 6 o'clock hour for this year. So as of tomorrow, that sunrise will be 7 a.m. Looking at your rain chances, though, they're staying low. No major storm in the forecast between now and about the middle of next week. Vanessa Paz has a check of how things are looking as far as traffic goes as we kick off our Thursday morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Unfortunately, we're not crashless. We got a couple that we're tracking. A new one just came in on the CAT a couple of minutes ago, and this is just near the San Marcos area on the 70 East, right at Twin Oaks Valley. We have another one a little south of that towards the metro area, and this one's on the 5 South at Grape Street through the curves. And speaking of the curves, here's a live look at it. This is on the 5 northbound right at 6th Avenue. We're not tapping the brakes heavily. In fact, we're smooth sailing for the most part as you make your way either to or from the downtown area. Meanwhile, this is what it looks like traveling in from Poway. That's that southbound drive. Top of your screen is the northbound drive as you exit Poway, headed, let's say, I don't know, towards Escondido. Encinitas down to the top of the Golden Triangle, about this morning, Escondido down to the 163 merge, about a 10-minute ride. 15 minutes, full span of the 78 from the 15 towards the 5. Average speeds everywhere in the North County, anywhere between 65, 70 miles per hour. Same deal coming out of the East County, 5 to 7 minutes on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And if you're traveling in from the South Bay northbound, 15 minutes right now in from San Ysidro. The slowest drive around the region is going to be the Coronado Bridge. Full span right now will take you about 6 minutes. Average speeds about 20 miles per hour, and that is due to overnight construction lingering into the 6 o'clock hour. All right, 6:10 is the time. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times for you, and here's what we're tracking. Coming in from San Ysidro's port of entry, about 2 hours or so, and over an hour coming in, or 2 hours rather, in from Otay Mesa's port of entry. Over that, about an hour and a half if you're coming in from San Ysidro's port of entry at last check.